Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, and Nintendo Switch Sports. 3 games that, although have mixed reviews on one in particular, all are different games within the Wii Sports series. They all have their own identity, but there's one outlier in the series that just doesn't really fit. And that's Wii Sports Club. What the hell is this game even supposed to be? Wii Sports Club is the Wii U's Wii Sports, but it's really just a HD version of the original Wii Sports, and it's not even that good. It somehow removes stuff from the original game, coded under this dull HD remake of Wii Sports for the Wii, a game you could already play on the Wii U. So what went wrong with Wii Sports Club? What led Wii Sports Club to being the outlier of the Wii Sports series? Even more so than Nintendo Switch Sports.
So hi, I'm Charlie, I'm back, and let's figure out what went wrong with Wii Sports Club.
So let's take it back to the original Wii Sports. The original Wii Sports released as a launch title on the Wii, and the game's biggest fan was a man by the name of Satoru Iwata, the head of Nintendo. Every day after a hard day's work at Nintendo, Satoru Iwata would go home and swing his Wii remote around and chill out playing the original Wii Sports. This seemingly became tradition in the Iwata household, as he'd spend hours playing the game to the point of sweating, just playing Wii Sports. As the Wii continued in its life, many improvements were made to the console, with one of the major improvements being the Wii Motion Plus, which was bundled in with Wii Sports Resort. Finally, the Wii Sports experience had better motion than it had before. They really managed to work out the perfect Wii experience, but Wii Sports Resort didn't have all the original sports from the OG game. I mean, it had bowling and golf, and had replacements for the others, like instead of tennis they had table tennis, instead of boxing they had sword fight, and I guess instead of baseball they had basketball. But it just wasn't the same as the original game. Wii Sports Resort is of course an incredible game, there's no doubt about that. That wasn't a part of the problem whatsoever. What was the problem is that the upcoming console, the Wii U, was coming with a brand new controller, the gamepad, and you couldn't play the original Wii Sports on it. Well, I mean, you can play the original Wii Sports on a Wii U. The footage you just watched is footage recorded on a Wii U. But I guess there's no native version of Wii Sports that uses the Wii U gamepad in its gameplay. And Satoru Iwata knew that. And just like that, he had a spark. Why not make a version of Wii Sports for the Wii U? Almost like a remake of the original game, but have it involve the Wii Motion Plus accessory and the new gamepad. And maybe chuck in some online play and Miiverse support, the upcoming social media created for the 3DS and Wii U. It's now E3 2011, and something incredible was going to be announced. The Wii U, of course! Look, I'm not the first guy to say that this initial trailer was bad, and I won't be the last guy to say it either, but to say that this trailer didn't work is an understatement. If we ignore, well, the fact that the first game they showed off was a modified version of New Super Mario Bros. Wii and barely showed the console and just the controller, making it seem like it was an add-on for the original Wii. Did you know they made a new controller? We actually see our very first look at the upcoming remake of Wii Sports. At least I think that's what we're looking at. In this version of Wii Sports, we see assets straight from the Wii version, just with ever so slightly better graphics. We see the updated controls they had for baseball, and the updated controls they had for golf, including a first-person view on the TV, which isn't even in the final game. I don't think any of the things we see on the screen, though, are actually things developed for the Wii U. All of them just look like pre-rendered videos, especially the whole Zapper thing, considering that didn't even come out. But from this announcement video, we do see the ideas they had for the remake of Wii Sports, and we also see their idea for what Zelda would look like. Oh wait, never mind, doesn't matter. Clearly they had started development, or at least the conception phase, for this Wii Sports remake. Nintendo contacted the folks over at Bandai Namco Studios to develop the game, but ended up joining them in the creation of this remake of Wii Sports. But one thing remained on the developer's mind throughout the game's development. If we include this Miiverse thing, won't the players end up hating each other? Would it shock you that this thought is what led to this game having at least a little bit of its own identity? They thought that the solution to players being hostile towards each other was to make every player join a club so that only the clubs would fight, not the players. Don't ask how this helps solve the problem, I don't get it either. It doesn't actually make any sense. Well, the game was finally in development, and Nintendo had a way of releasing the game that was going to be very, interesting to say the least. What if we released the game in small little parts? Genuinely, what were they thinking? It's now September 2013. The Wii U is not doing well, and Nintendo were hyping up the release of their new upcoming game, Wii Fit U. They had an entire Wii Fit U Direct, a version of a Nintendo Direct, but just for Wii Fit U. But at the end of the presentation, Nintendo had one last announcement, and it had nothing to do with Wii Fit. It was Wii Sports Club. I hope you figured that one out by now. The game was announced to launch with two of the sports, bowling and tennis, with the rest of the sports being added at a later date. They also added like a subscription service. It was weird. Bowling and tennis happen to be the only two sports in the game that have no difference from their gameplay in Wii Sports whatsoever. Why did they pick these two first? Not only is it completely stupid to only release two of the games when the original Wii Sports released with all 5 games, these are exactly the same as they played in Wii Sports. You could just play the original game and get the exact same experience. It also makes it pointless to get the game at this point in time. It took over a month for these games to come out, and then in December, they finally added golf. Thank God they added golf. Then 6 entire months later, they added baseball and boxing. And then they finally released a physical version of the game in order to boost sales of the digital version. What? Yes, Wii Sports Club I think was originally intended to be a digital only product. Something to boost the Nintendo eShop on the Wii U more than anything. But later Nintendo kinda realized how ridiculously stupid of an idea that was, and released it physically. Wii Sports Club I think failed from just that decision alone, and also because it released on the Wii U. But when we finally look at the game itself, it's still not really that exciting. Let's begin with tennis. You remember tennis from the original game, right? Bright, colourful, an energetic announcer? Well, what if, and hear me out here, we suck all the colour out of it and make the announcer bored out of his brain? It just doesn't look good. Of course, the gameplay is identical to the original Wii Sports. Even the music is just remixes of the music from the original Wii Sports, but it's still pretty rubbish, all things considered. I feel like with this game, you can kinda tell that the game was never meant to have the same qualities of full-on retail game. It was just supposed to be these cheap replacements for the original Wii Sports, because that's just what it is. It feels like a cheap knockoff, even though it's the real deal. But hey, maybe they improve on this with bowling. Bowling has 3 modes this time round, which were the same 3 modes that are in Wii Sports Resort, and are the same 3 modes that you can find if you look hard enough in the original Wii Sports. Once again, Wii Sports Club Bowling is just the same as OG Bowling. I don't know what they would change, it's bowling. But now, it's a lot more grey. I will say, it does look a lot less cheap than tennis did. It feels like at least a little bit of effort went into the development of this version of bowling, but it still feels cheapish. The announcer is still boring, the animations and such look boring, it's just not that exciting. Next, we move on to golf. And this one has some of the most work done to it. It now has 3 entire courses that you can play of golf. There's the brand new one, the Lakeside course. There's Wii Sports regular one, which, you know, originated in NES Golf. And then there's the Resort one, which is the Wii Sports Resort Golf course. The game, though, plays exactly the same as the original Golf, just with a little bonus thing going on the gamepad. On the gamepad, you can see the ball you're hitting. That is the extent of the gameplay on the gamepad. That's all it does. It just has the ball there. You can see the golf club when you swing it over the gamepad, there's not really much going on here. It's actually easier not to look at the gamepad because when you look at the TV, you can actually see where you're hitting the ball. If you look at the gamepad, you see grass. Like, what's the point? Baseball is next, and I think this is the only one that actually has some sort of improvement over the original version of baseball in Wii Sports. Graphics-wise, God no. It looks even worse than the Wii U reveal trailer version. But the gameplay uses the gamepad, which is actually quite interesting. Batting is exactly the same, there's no difference there. But now with the gamepad, if you're throwing, you can control the ball. You can control the ball wherever it goes towards the batter. There's a whole lot of more options. Yes, this does make the game more confusing, I guess, for casual players, but I still think it's pretty easy to figure out. It's quite cool. But that's not all. You can also catch the ball on the gamepad if the ball gets hit far enough. You move the gamepad in real life and try to catch the ball as if the gamepad is your glove. That's actually kind of fun. It gives the second player something to do while the first player does the hitting thing. It's actually really fun. It's really cool to see what they did to improve baseball here, but I think they just needed to add the original graphics because then it would have been even cooler. Now, for some reason I went to launch boxing and it came up with a thing saying, hey, the age rating is different on boxing, you might want to check it. And it lists it as G, the lowest possible rating it could be. I don't even know why this is a disclaimer in the game. What? Boxing is also one of the games that has a lot of changes to it. You can now play the game with one hand, and if you want to play with two hands, you gotta use two Wii remotes now. Otherwise, this game is still bad in my opinion. I never really liked the original boxing, but now playing it with one hand, it's somehow even worse. It's not really that fun. It feels slower than what it felt like in Wii Sports. Matches just feel like they go on forever, and worst of all, the guy you face in the first round is named Matt, but it's not the Matt, it's another Matt. Who really knows why they got a new Matt that is the complete opposite to the original Matt? Because this Matt is at the bottom of the ranking in boxing and the top of the ranking in tennis, whereas the Matt from Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort is at the top of the ranking in boxing, but at the lowest ranking in tennis. It's really stupid. Wii Sports Club is easily the worst game in the Wii Sports series. People like to say Nintendo Switch Sports is the worst one in the series, but at least that somewhat has its own identity compared to this. Wii Sports Club is just the first Wii Sports, but worse. And although Nintendo Switch Sports isn't fantastic either, it's better than Wii Sports Club. Anything is better than Wii Sports Club. Anything.